All right. What's up? It's Lit Book Reviews, the podcast where we discuss all things books. Here to do another one. I am Green Ghost. With me is Aquarius, as always, and special guest Omni Man is in the house. Here to do another one. Tom Orange, thanks for being here again on a new segment with us. How are you
Yeah,
doing,
Twice in
sir?
1 week. I feel bad
twice
for
in
you.
1 week. So
I
it's a
know.
blast. I'm super excited to talk about this actually because I love this series, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we are here to talk about this absolute CMU block of a book, the first compendium of the Invincible series by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Otley. So, I mean, let's dive right in. We've been doing some comics lately, you may know, and we had to get into Invincible. We've all watched the show, so I've watched everything that's out, which is 3 seasons, right? 3. Tom has watched everything, and you've watched the first season. Andrew, is that correct?
Yep, only the first season.
And now we have all read and only read, because I don't think any of us have gone past this point yet, 0 through 47, issues 0 through 47, which is the first compendium, as well as some extra stuff, I think, kind of in the middle. I don't know if that was in the actual issue,
Yeah.
but I mean, let's get into it. We're not gonna, I guess we can talk about non-spoiler. We'll do it like a regular book review. Non-spoiler ratings, talk really quickly. I mean, overall thoughts. Tom, you start us off. You're the guest of honor. Overall thoughts of Compendium 1.
Okay, so with having watched the show, I was curious going into it, like which one I was going to like more. And I was just saying this before we started, but like this is absolutely one of those series where it's worth watching the TV show and also reading all of the comics because there are differences, and yet both are done so well. Like this is absolutely like in contention for some of my favorite comics I've read. It's hard for it to beat out some of like the Superman stuff I've read just because like Superman's my guy. But
Yeah.
like as far as like one giant story, because this almost feels like, I know you guys don't read manga, but this almost feels closer to like a manga series than a lot of comics that I think people read, because a lot of comics can get so messy with like what's going on in
Yeah.
the stories and continuity and like all the stuff that
Yes.
goes along with
Yeah.
it. And so like Invincible, because it's really just like this one through line with the 3 compendiums, even though we haven't read the next 2 yet, it reminds me a lot more of manga, where you just like sit down with this story, read it, and then that's it. Like you don't have to worry about like what's going on in the Justice League, so you understand this reference in Superman issue whatever. Like, and I think that's one nice thing about this as far as like an entry into comics. And then just overall, yeah, I mean, this is great. Like it's some of the best stuff you'll read. Absolutely, the art progressively gets better, and so just like everything
Yeah.
ramps up as it goes.
Yeah. I would agree. I would totally agree with everything you just said. Andrew, what do you have to add to that? Non-spoiler thoughts. Compendium 1, sir.
Yeah. For us, like at least Tom, so Jesse and I recently read Watchmen, and dude, it was such a grind going from, because I don't know, like what would you say, Jesse? This took us like, because we were splitting this up. We weren't solely just reading Invincible. It was like kind of on the side. And so I guess I'm bringing that up to say, like, we were reading other stuff, and it was like, man, I just want to read this. And it felt like you could just read, like, I'm sitting down, and like you have to find a specific way to sit with that book, because it's like
So
nothing's
big, dude.
comfortable. That's the only dagger, dude. Especially like once you get towards the end, dude, it's like I'm having to look like this, off to the
Getting
side,
carpal
because it
tunnel.
can't,
dude.
dude. It's
Yeah.
brutal, but it felt like I was reading so fast. Even though a lot was happening. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those. I guess I can't say I haven't read a ton of comics now, because we've like quickly dove into the dark hole, Jesse and I have, but it almost just feels so different than anything else, because it is like just a separate world, and they kind of just play these games where it seems like they're making references to other stuff and kind of trolling a little bit, but then it's still serious. So I don't know. It feels like a TV show. Like, I guess because I saw the TV show first, like I can hear the voices and whatnot too. But I think I like the compendium better than season 1, even though I liked season 1. I'm not saying I didn't, but I think I liked reading it more. And like, honestly, it's one of those things where I'd feel comfortable recommending literally anybody to like try this out. Whereas comics, I know maybe aren't for everybody. I think almost anybody could appreciate what's going on in this. I mean, it's got like a romance, it's got a mystery, and then it's got like extreme action and thriller. Like, I mean, it's kind of really got everything in there. And then you get those fantasy elements with superpowers and stuff that's just so unexpected. So I don't know. It's kind of touches on almost everything you would want, whether like it getting kind of heartbreaking, but then also having like stupid funny moments in it. Um, it's just you can tell it's just very well written for sure. What do you think, Jesse? I know you've dove deep into the dark hole of
David.
Invincible. I feel like you know it all.
Yeah, dude. I mean, first I'll say, yeah, I gave every issue of this on the comic tracking app 5 stars.
So did I.
There was never a point where I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, it might be a 4.5. I was just like, dude, 5 stars. Even if it was something that wasn't as good as the issue prior, it's like it was just so good. And
Yeah.
I was telling Andrew, I guess you could easily find out just by counting or looking on that app. It feels like it's either much more engaging and just it doesn't feel like as much time is going by, or I think the issues might be slightly shorter, at least in some cases, than your standard comics. I don't know, because it did feel like I was just ripping through them, which was fun. I really enjoyed. But yeah, I watched the first season of Invincible, and it ended the way it ended, and I was like, dude, I have to know every single thing that happens in this story right now. And for the next like week, I had to have watched north of 42 videos on YouTube about Invincible because I watched breakdowns that were hours long, and then I also watched character breakdowns that were all like 45 minutes long. So I was like not only learning everything but hearing it twice and 3 times, and it's just so good. But what's crazy to me is not only has the show still been just as enjoyable as it would have without knowing, but so is this comic. This is the third for this first compendium, especially since it's a lot of stuff that's been covered in the show. This is like the third or fourth time I'm seeing a lot of this stuff, and it's still so good. I'm still just like 5 stars, every one of them. So yeah, it's S tier stuff in my opinion. I can see why it's so successful, why it ended up getting a show. I didn't realize it started so long ago and ran for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's like 145 issues over 15 years. So I started scrolling through, and there were some years where like only a few issues came out. And it was kind of staggered as far as the release, which is interesting. But yeah, man, it's amazing.
It's got to be because of
Again,
Walking Dead, right? Because this is
Yeah.
he's the Walking Dead guy. So that's probably why, right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's got to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there were big gaps like that. I'd be so upset.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah,
were
dude,
reading.
can you
Oh,
imagine?
dude, that'd be brutal.
Like,
Yeah, there's some pretty big gaps, and some of them are like you can tell it's like an end of an arc, and they took them in it, like especially at the end, like the last arc. I think there's 3 or 4 months before it starts from the previous arc's ending. There was like a 3 or 4 month break, but anyway, so yeah, it's been great. The art is simple. We've read a decent amount of comics at this point, kind of all over the spectrum as far as like when they were written and what type of stuff it is. And there's some where the art is kind of the main thing. Like the story almost doesn't matter because the art is so engaging. And there are some sick panels in Invincible, don't get me wrong, but they're not trying to be the most refined art in this comic. And maybe as it goes, we get through the compendiums, maybe that does increase because the comic got more popular. I don't know. Or the artist got better. But there's never a point where the art really takes away from anything. Like it feels like it's the perfect level of art for the story. I don't know if that makes sense.
I agree.
So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. The characters are awesome. Again, to not do spoilers about it, but it is interesting some of the changes they've made in the show. I know some of them are kind of like tongue in cheek, like jokey. They did it on purpose. But then some of the character changes, like, with Amber and how some of that stuff worked out, and the order of events, just kind of interesting. Some stuff I thought was better. I wish I had written things down when I saw them in the comics and put like what the difference was, because there were some things I liked more in the comic, but some things I thought the show improved. Yeah, man.
How he just comes
Overall,
up
it was
with his
great.
name is like the first thing that comes to my mind, which we can probably talk about that later.
Oh
Like how he
yeah,
comes up
that's
with
right.
Invincible is like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
different. Which anyway,
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great. Like you said, Andrew, I would recommend it to pretty much anybody that wasn't just had a complete aversion to reading comics. I mean, it's I guess it's got some stuff that maybe a younger person shouldn't read, but I feel like it's pretty much for everybody.
yeah. I feel like they do a pretty good job though of like doing stuff off scene, and then they even joke about it, which is hilarious.
oh, that's so
Like
funny.
there's nothing
I
ever
know,
like
yeah.
graphic. So like if you're a
Yeah.
kid, you probably wouldn't even really get what's happening. Like when you're watching cartoons now and you go back and you're like, wait, what? Like there's just jokes for the adults.
Yeah.
So, but no, I couldn't agree more. Like genuinely, I don't know why. If someone likes reading fantasy and sci-fi, they would love this. Like I would be safe to say, like if you enjoy that genre of books, I think this would be like a really cool like palate cleanser.
So I want to ask each of you, and I haven't really thought about my answer yet, but so in comparison to other comics you've read, where does this stand? And it's hard for me because 48 issues, including Zero, that's the most of any run I've read to this point. So there's a lot more material here to compare to other things where I might have only read 6 issues or something. But where does this stand next to some of the other greats in your mind so far?
You go first, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely up there. Like, it's just like I enjoy it so much that it's hard for me to not put it like way, way up at the top. Like there are definitely like Superman Up in the Sky, Superman for All Seasons are like the pinnacle
Yeah.
for me because they just hit on like a deeper emotional level. And like I said earlier, like
Yeah.
Superman's my guy. So like I'm always
Yeah.
going to be a little biased there. But like not only just comics, but like in any medium I have read in, like it's up there. Like
Yeah.
if I did a top 10 series of all time and I included every medium, like it's probably got to be in that list. And
Yeah, it's at
my
least
hope
close.
is it gets better. Like I think even more highly of it as I read more and more of
Yeah.
it, which I think is going to probably be the case because it just seems awesome. So yeah, and like comics wise, yeah, I mean it's got to be up there.
Yeah. Andrew?
See, I've read a lot of X-Men is like the only other thing that I've read like relatively close, and it's so different. It's just not even close. It seems way more focused and clean. And I guess it's probably to your point, Tom, that you brought up earlier about it being more manga like. Um, not like as many like cooks in the kitchen, I guess, where it like switches people every arc or every couple arcs, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
And it's just longer because like
yeah.
think about how many like I'm not no comic expert, but there are so many runs where it's like 12, maybe even
Yeah.
24 if you get like a longer
Yeah.
one. And it's
Yeah.
like to tell a story. I'm not saying you can't tell a good story in that much time, but like everything about this because they have like the bandwidth to do it, it gets to like cook a little bit more and they don't have to like make any real rash decisions because they have the runway to like really build it out.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know how it's not the best that I've read if we're talking about full body of work of like combining the art with the storyline. Um and like the accessibility of it, it's really hard to compete with that. A lot of the absolute stuff, which I'm sure you'll probably mention, Jesse, is like really cool too. Some things about that I like a little bit more, just like the aspects of it. But as a whole, like, I mean, I think it's definitely the best like whole thing that I've read. Like when you factor everything in, and I would agree with you too, Tom. Like as far as I don't know if it makes top 10 because still there is something like while I do love like what we're doing comic wise, dude, there's something about reading and like building something in your mind and like never seeing a picture of it and you like just have something in your mind. Like that will always have an edge for me, but this is close. Like for someone who appreciates that more, like this is
Mhm.
still so close.
Yeah.
If it's not, which it still may be in the top 10, but if not, it's like right there and I just don't see how anyone wouldn't like it. Like I would like to meet someone who's like, yeah, that just didn't hit for me. Be like, why? Like, you just hear out why.
I think there's two people, like two kinds of people. It's somebody who's read so many comics that they like have like these special use cases for comics that they only read like super niche things that like nobody else does because they're so desensitized to the rest of like comics or something, or
Yeah,
somebody who's on the complete other side of the spectrum where like the thought of reading a comic like actually repulses them because like
Yeah.
they're I
yeah,
mean we all know those people who just like absolutely refuse to
yeah,
read whatever it is. It could be romance, they're like those are the only people. And then I do think if you could get those people to sit down and actually read the comic, it would be closer. Like,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think those are like the two people I can kind of think of like who would be like, no, it's not good.
Well, and the
Yeah.
show I think helps that with that vein of like my girlfriend. Ever since I've gotten into comics, she's like, "What are you doing?" like so disappointed. Like, are you
Dude, there's such a
okay? Do we
stigma
need to
with
get you help?
comics.
Yes. Do we
There
need to get you
is.
help? And I'm like, I could be doing drugs, honey, and I'm not. I'm look, look, I won't lie, there's been a little bit of a financial investment recently. And that's okay.
They're
But
not
look,
cheap.
I have something they're not, but we have something physically we can hold to show for it. But I mean, I think the show, I genuinely think if I got her to sit down and watch a couple episodes, there's no way she wouldn't like it. Like, the show is so good. And then I think that could, like, I can see why the comics held so highly, obviously, because we've read it and it's been good. But, like, the way it transitions to a show so well and so easily, I mean, I could see where it could get people to go the other way. You know what I mean? Like, not to make too many references in that vein, but, it could flip people from watching it on the show to at least trying out a comic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree, dude. My girlfriend hates that I read comics.
She sucks, dude. I hate your girlfriend.
She's the worst. But yeah, we got Tom good.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay. So since y'all both went this way, I would say overall, any medium, I think the first comic I think of that would be in that top 10 would be Superman Up in the Sky. But I think overall, I could see Invincible being there. There's just too many, I think, books that I love so dearly. But if I'm talking just comics, the only thing I could truly compare it to, because we're still so new to reading comics, like just as far as the amount of issues I've read, the only thing I could compare it to, I think, would be Batman, but a conglomeration of all the different Batman runs that I've read. And dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude, I've read some stinkers, and nothing in Invincible has been like that. Obviously, there's some Batman stuff that's like the best ever. There's some really legendary stuff that I've got to read, but yeah, this is probably right now the best thing I've read overall when it comes to comics. But again, it does have a huge advantage with how many issues it is.
I think Teenage
Superman Up in
Mutant
the
Ninja
Sky,
Turtles
dude.
could be the only thing for me, because that's all like the same writer and it has 150 issues as well.
Okay.
And it's like
Okay.
one continuous line, like the actual like OG like arc that
Yeah.
ended whenever that was, not too long ago. But it was like same kind of thing where it spanned a long time. So I've read the first volume of that, and I'm curious to see. I will say though, even just comparing the first, I don't know, 12 issues to like even just the first 12 issues of this is an easier, like the twists in this so early on are just so like, what? Like, if you don't know anything about Invincible, the first twist that hits you, it will hit you like what? Like, it's just, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just such a crazy twist. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I mean, unless there's any other non-spoiler thoughts, do we want to just start spoiling the
Go read it
occurrences?
if you haven't,
Yeah, go read it if you haven't. If you don't
or
want
at least
to,
watch the show. I mean, at least do
yeah,
one or the other.
yeah, one or the
yeah,
other at
watch the first
least.
episode.
But if you really
Amazon
want the full
Prime.
experience, watch the show twice, read the compendiums, and watch all the YouTube videos you can, including this one. So yeah, we're gonna spoil things. If you don't want to know what happens in the show or the book, check out. So I mean, yeah, I guess we got a
Just
normal
through the
superhero start
through the first compendium.
through the first compendium. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
So I mean, the big thing at the beginning, it happens in the first episode of the show, and the 7th issue of the series is Omni-Man.
Sorry,
I mean,
had to do it.
somebody
Yeah,
had
Omni.
to. So the first time I experienced was All of Us the show first, right?
Yeah. For
Yeah.
me it was.
So I feel like as far as the shock factor, we have to address it from the show. I mean, it's one of the most shocking things I've seen in a show, which I wouldn't have expected to really say from, I like animated stuff. I've never really watched anime, but there's a lot of animated stuff I like. But dude, for it to hit that hard and just be so shocking was crazy. And what obviously we know what happens. He basically murks the Justice League. But in the show, it's like a drawn out fight that he's concussed from. Dude, in the comics, it's one
Dude,
page.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
one single
Dude,
page.
he handles
He doesn't
business.
get hurt.
He
He's in the
dog walks
hospital
him
for
and
a
then goes to
while in the
dinner.
show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that I feel like that is what, before you read that, and especially even more so in the show, before that happens in the show, you're kind of like, I mean, okay, like we're just getting started. Like, this is cool. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
And then that happens, and you're like, oh my god, like I'm locked
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I'm watching everything.
It completely changes what you think of the show because of that twist. And I think it's good that it happens earlier in the show.
Yeah,
Because
I
that,
agree.
like, ending that first episode like that, it's like, how do you stop watching after that? Like, you've got
Yeah,
to
how?
like
You at least have to watch
it,
episode 2.
it is such an incredible hook into the series that like it's brilliantly done. And when I was reading the comic, I kept waiting for it because like
Yeah,
obviously I'm going in knowing how the show is, and I'm like, so when does it happen? And I thought it was an
yeah.
interesting difference between, it lets you build a little bit into
Mhm.
it. And I don't know if you guys did this when you were reading it, were you like looking for signs that stuff wasn't right earlier on? Because I know
Oh,
I
yeah.
was. I was like,
Oh, for sure.
I wish I had still had the compendium with me with like notes in it or something. But there's a couple times where I'm like, that's suspicious. But I think it's only because I knew what was to come.
Yeah. Well,
So
and there's a couple times where it may just be once or twice where Nolan Omni-Man just makes a facial expression reacting to something, and you're like,
yeah,
there it is. Like,
yeah.
that's where they kinda, but it's definitely not obvious. It's a shock either way. In
Oh
the
yeah,
show,
yeah,
there's nothing at all. Well, no, the show there is too, because he kinda acts weird about him getting his powers, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or is
a
that
little bit.
after?
No,
I can't remember now. Oh, yeah, no, it's
Like, is it a flashback after or not?
I can't remember.
either way. It was
Yeah.
shocking, and it's what definitely hooked me on the show, and it makes sense in the comics too, that it's the same thing. It makes it stand apart, and you're like, "Oh, this is what this series is gonna be like."
Yeah. It's what it's built on. It's built on, building him up as the Superman of Earth, and then him
Yeah,
not being. It's like he's actually
Yeah,
right.
not.
he's Injustice Superman.
Injustice
Yeah.
Superman. He's
Yeah,
what's his name? Homelander? I don't know.
yeah,
We don't need to talk about the boys in this one too, but like we've seen the trope of like the
yeah,
evil Superman,
Yes.
right? And
hmm
like it's just executed so well
It
in
is.
Invincible compared to a lot of other places.
It
I
is
think.
interesting what they choose to like change though, because in the show he's like down for a while, and then Invincible, like that's his chance to kind of like come up, do his thing. Whereas in the comic, I mean, he's obviously unfazed, like not even
No
remotely
problem.
phased, and then just lives
Yeah.
low key. And then the detective who's like a demon is not even really a prominent thing because it's so quick. He's only in a couple issues. Where in
yeah,
the show, he's kind of like a main arc
yeah. Well, dude,
of
he
that
shows
first
up
season.
in the comics. It shows him like he wants to investigate, and then just at the end of an issue, there's like one page where it shows him going to the people at the GDA or whatever, and he says, "Oh, I think I know who did it," and they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Omni Man," and he's like, "Oh." I was like, "Damn, dude, they
Yeah.
really just were like, yeah, he didn't do any
Yeah.
good." But yeah, it is interesting the stuff they changed. But the funniest thing about that first shocking moment with Omni Man is how they build up this really tropey, if you will, cliche Justice League. Um, and he just dog walks them. It's crazy.
Destroys them,
Like
dude.
it's
They never see
it's
the
really
chance.
funny because
Yeah.
It
it's
does.
Robert Kirkman taking the Justice League and having a character kill them. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
Aquaman stand-in's my favorite. Like that is,
Oh, dude.
dude, I just love it so much. It's so
I
funny
mean,
to me. I
we've got
actually love
Aquarius here
Aquaman.
with us now.
Yeah, I love Aquaman, but like it was so funny for him to be like an actual fish like that. That just cracks me
Yeah.
up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
wonder
funny.
if there's I wonder if there's going to be changes in the show based on like the power scaling that we see from that, or if it was just they
Hmm.
thought it would be more dramatic to make it not like just a clean, run the table real quick. Because like
Yeah.
later on when he goes to whatever the bug people
Hmm.
are through the teleporter or through the portal, and like in the show you see him like absolutely destroy their entire civilization.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so like the power scaling's a little all over the place. So I'm just kind of curious on
Yeah.
like did they just do it for dramatic effect, or is that gonna like they
Yeah.
changing how it goes?
Where
Yeah, and I
does
feel
the
like that's
show
something that's
end?
hard to maintain in comics.
Like
The
season
show
3, that is.
it
'Cause
technically ends at technically it gets into the second compendium a little bit for the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
a
because
character
where
that
does
doesn't
the
show up in the compendium.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was about to say
Prepare for
we're in
my
spoilers so we
arrival,
can say,
worms.
but Andrew doesn't know about it yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know about it. tragic.
dude. You
You're
have
in for a
got to finish
treat.
the show, Andrew.
You are in
That's what the
for a
rest of this
treat.
episode is going to be, is telling you about how you need to. I mean, dude, it's so good.
It is.
It is. It is. Look, I
Um,
gotta say it is. It's football season though, so I don't know.
That's true.
I hope I can, but it's one or the other.
It is. I mean, dude, so who are, besides Invincible, obviously, like, who are the characters that stood out to y'all that y'all liked the most reading about? Go ahead, Andrew. We all know what you're thinking. Just say it.
Dude,
We know who it is, bro.
wow, and there's so many strong female leads in this, so I don't know. It's so big. I mean, look, I'll say it for you guys. I mean, Adam Eve's pretty cool, guys. She's pretty cool. So her powers are very cool, and that is real.
That is
Her
true.
powers are cool.
We're giving you a hard time, but she is actually a good character. Like,
Yeah, she is.
We're, but
She is.
she
And
is.
The plot's great. It's all about the plot.
it is all about the plot. I don't care what she looks like. Really, I've never actually noticed what she looked like at all because she's an animated character. But yeah, I am glad to really just jump through. I mean, I only texted one thing about this whole compendium in the group, dude. I hate Amber, and I don't know if that's like a thing in the stratosphere that people are like in agreement with, but I mean, dude, that was really pissing me off. I don't think I've ever been so invested, like in a like not real relationship between like if was Mark actually going to, which I knew he had to eventually, but move on. But I mean, at least where I'm at, the end of Compendium 1, I mean, it's Mark's such an idiot, bro. She asked him the question of like, because obviously he goes. What's that one dude's name who gets combined by the Mahler twins and then takes him to like a whole nother dimension? Angstrom
Levy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he, just for the sake of saying what happens, so Mark ends up getting saved by the peeps from 20 years in the future, and a future Adam Eve basically tells Mark, "Hey, tell me you love me, or just tell me something so I can move on." And then she asks him, present time, is that the only reason why? And he's like, I don't think so. I mean, what a terrible way to respond.
Right?
And
He's got no game.
No game.
No game, dude. No game.
It's kind of like Rand,
but
dude,
I will say,
doesn't deserve it and just gets it. But
yeah, I think Amber's worse in the show though, and I don't remember where she's at in the show for you, Andrew. But dude, she's so much
worse.
It's
bad,
and it's the same things that they're trying to do in the comic, but they just like make it happen more, and it's like over and over and over again.
Hanging out with the guy in your room, I don't care who you are, you can never justify that, especially in college. No chance, dude. No chance. Oh, we're just studying. There's a library. You know that? There is a library. If you have to do that, that's insane, dude. That is insane.
But dude, in the show, and this, I'm not worried about spoiling this part of the show for you, Andrew. I mean, dude, she's so much worse.
Yeah.
Because basically, dude, rather than in the comics, like she finds out fairly quickly because Invincible, like, wants her to know or whatever. I forget how it even happens, but he tells her. And the thing about Amber in the comics that's redeeming is like she is trying to be very understanding. And yeah, obviously I agree with you. You can't be, in the room with some dude, whatever. But at the same time, dude, you kind of sympathize for her because she never gets to see him. And having like, if you try to put yourself in the shoes of you're a normal person dating a superhero who's like the superhero right now that all this crazy stuff has happened to and he's never around. It's like, yeah, I mean, this relationship's just not going to work out. So you do feel for her because she's trying to be understanding. In the show, bro, when he tells her that he's invincible, you find out that she knew all along and was still getting mad at him all the time for being late to stuff, all this type of stuff. And I mean, I think they wrote her a little bit better towards the end of their relationship in the show. But dude, she's awful.
It's funny you say that because I think once they actually break up in the show, she is better. Like she's like there's nothing actually wrong with her character. It's their relationship that is so bad, and she's so like toxic in it. And I'm curious in the show if they're gonna keep her around a bunch, and in the comic, I guess for both, because I don't know if she's going to still be like a somewhat prominent character or if she's just going to kind of fade away, because I could see her being like a fine character in in either of in either
I mean, she
medium.
has to expose his identity, right?
That's not a
Or
bad
does that,
guess, actually.
or does,
Who
I mean,
I
knows?
mean, yeah.
that's actually a really good guess. That sounds like something especially Show Amber would do.
Yeah, Show Amber for sure
Yeah.
might
For
do that.
sure,
But
for sure, Show Amber.
what's crazy too when you talk about the breakup, Tom, is the breakup in the show, which you haven't gotten to yet, Andrew, is way different in the comics because of what precedes it. Like in the comics, he just goes to her after this constant not being able to be with her and talk to her and yada yada.
Well,
And they just
him and
break up
Adam
and it's
Eve
very
kiss though
amicable.
too.
Yes.
Well,
They
yeah, that
kiss, which
happens.
he even tries
Which
to
that's
separate,
also
and then
not
he
good,
just
you
they
know?
go off
That's
plan.
actually
Which
worse than what Amber did.
It is
it
actually
is, but
worse
at
than
the same
what
time,
Amber.
I don't. It wasn't Mark. That's what I couldn't tell though. It wasn't Mark that initiated that, or was it?
Well, that's what they,
Because then Mark's like,
they
"Hey, we
start
can't do
talking
this."
after, and they're like, "Oh, did you? Oh no, and they so you don't really know, but either way,
Still
yeah,
bad. Yeah.
still
It's
bad.
not great, but
I mean, there are worse things, I guess, but yeah. But dude, in the show, so again, I'm just gonna spoil a slight thing for you, Andrew, because I don't think it really matters because you've already read it in the comic.
Yeah.
The scene that happens to where Anissa shows up when Mark is eating with his mom in the comics, which was a really great moment. They had a really nice moment where she just tells him, "Hey, I'm seeing someone," and Mark is really nice about it. And then Anissa shows up and she's like, "Yo, let's get out of here. I gotta talk to you, bro." In the show,
who's
Mark
that?
and Amber. Did she never say her name in the comic? That's the Viltrumite that shows up, the girl.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I saw it on. Maybe she does. Okay, yeah. I know what you're
I
talking
think
about.
she
I can't
does.
even remember if she said her name, but either way, in the show, she shows up while Mark and Amber are on a date, and she lands next to Amber and puts her hand on her throat and says, "Come up in the sky with me now, or I'll snap her neck."
He's
And
like,
Mark's just like, and
it's like, "You
so
good?"
the whole Anissa thing happens, and then he comes back to Amber, and she's like absolutely shook, and that's kind of where their relationship. I can't remember if they break up right then, like, and it's an understanding thing, but either way,
I think it happens a little later. But I can't remember.
in the show,
In the show,
yeah,
I think
or,
it
yeah,
happens.
obviously.
Yeah. In the show, I think it happens a little bit later. I think it still happens in like her dorm room or something. But I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
He comes back and takes her back to the dorm room, and then they're like, "Yo,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it
But
ain't
in
gonna
the
work."
show, did Adam and Eve, Mark and
No, that's
Adam
not
and
in
Eve
the
kiss?
show.
Ah,
No, they
is the
didn't.
scene where then it's like at the end of an issue where she's like, "So are we dating, Mark?" Like she like knocks on
No,
his dorm room. Wow,
no, that
dude,
does not happen.
I'm out on the show, dude. You lost me. I needed that scene, dude. That
Dude,
scene,
it's
I was
honestly
like,
all better in the show, and then the whole time travel thing where Mark messes up, it's still just as annoying that he does it, but it is better executed in the show as well, I think.
Yeah.
that one moment really got me, dude. I was ready.
You were
I
invested.
mean, Mark wasn't. I mean, he fumbled the
He's
bag.
bro, he's such an idiot. But I mean, look, you gotta love him for that. You know, him
It does
getting
make him a
fooled.
little bit endearing that he is
It
just kind of
does.
like an idiot at the same time. Like that.
Yeah.
Like it makes him feel more personable than he's not just like a Superman stand-in.
Yeah, he can't have it all. Yeah, he's got to be missing a little bit. I mean, him getting fooled a couple times. Or well, no, I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking of Spider-Man. Sorry.
Dude, it happens, man. Every now and then.
You know what I'm talking about, Jesse, in Ultimate Spider-Man, where he gets fooled, where he's like, "Dude, I'm not
Oh,
doing
yeah.
anything bad," and then he is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something Mark would do, though, where it's like a villain just tells him, "Hey, I'm actually fine."
It's like, all right, swag. Trying
What's
to see
y'all's
what else
favorite
happens.
parts of this compendium? Like, if you had to, when you think of this compendium, I know like the big twist at the beginning is like foundational. Is there something that's like, even maybe if it's minor, that's like, dude, I just for whatever reason love like this arc or this like storyline?
That's a good
I
question.
think.
For me,
Trying
it's
to think
Alan the
about it.
Alien, which I feel like there's something
Ooh.
bad coming with that. I don't know why. I'm gonna throw it out there. I feel like he's bad, and I hope he's not.
Alan is such a nice addition to the story. That's actually like
He is.
a great answer
Yeah.
to your own question. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
You really
he is.
teed yourself up. That
yeah.
was nice.
I did.
Dude,
I like Alan, dude, and like
dude, Alan's great.
the perfect. They just drop him in every now and then at like the perfect time where it's like, okay, this is a good refresher from
Yeah.
Duplicate hooking up with someone else again. It's like a nice
Yeah. Well, and it also is opening up the rest of this universe because, like, it shows you that, like, okay, yeah, Earth is here and things are happening on Earth, but like, we got a whole galaxy out here of stuff that's happening. The Viltrumites are like taking over. We've got all this stuff. We have this coalition that's kind of trying to fight back and push back and
yeah.
all this stuff. And so it's like slowly world building for you while also just like getting to hang out with this fun character who's like in a really weird relationship with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which do you feel? I know Jesse probably already knows. Tom, do you feel like something's up with Alan though? For whatever reason, now that he's
No.
even stronger, I don't know why. I don't know if I read something wrong. It just I got a weird vibe when he shows up and he asks Mark to leave to like go chat with the dude who he's above that's also a Viltrumite that gets revealed.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, am I got to fight you?" And he's like, "Good, because like you wouldn't have won or whatever." I don't know. Like there was something weird about that where I was like, maybe I'm totally off. But
Interesting. No, I didn't get that vibe. I could see why, like, how you got there, but yeah, I can't say that's the vibe I got. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, let's have a whole another twist that would probably be even bigger than the. I don't know. Those would be both massive twists.
I feel like we don't know enough about his backstory. Like, I feel like a couple missing pieces, which is like I like. Like, there's enough. There's
Have you met him in the show yet?
Yeah, because he shows up pretty early in the show.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, I couldn't remember when he did.
Yeah, the moon. The first time they talk on the moon's pretty early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's right after Omni-Man's reveal when it happens. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a good pick, dude. I think, I don't know if it's the show because he doesn't have near as much development, at least at this point in the comics. But I mean, Rex Splode, man, he's kind of a standout. I mean, he's obviously a douchebag.
Really? You're a big Rex Splode
dude.
guy.
I think that show. I think the
show's bleeding over
because there's a few things that I like a lot more in the show than the comic that I was kind of wishing for. I think his arc is coming. I think some of the stuff that they bring in earlier is going to probably be in the second compendium. Just a guess, because I don't think that came out of nowhere for his character, and some of the things for him have been set up, like with the Lizard League and stuff. But him and the guy in charge of all the superheroes, why can't I remember his name? He can teleport. Cecil. Yeah, no. He is in charge of them too. But Cecil is to me lacking in the comics, especially compared.
I'd say
like there's a whole different dynamic that gets built up between Cecil and Mark specifically.
I think that's the very last. Yeah, that's the very last panel when you start getting an inkling of that in the compendium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when it's revealed that he is working with D.A. Sinclair to make the Reaniman. So yeah, we're just now getting into that. But I would agree with you, and yeah, I think, like I said, I think my Rex Splode it's sploding over from the show, if you will.
Yeah, I think so. And it is actually crazy because he's pretty like hateable early on too. And so the fact that by the end of the show, you're like, that's my dude.
Yeah,
for
like, sure.
Really? That must be a season 2 and 3 thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Season 1,
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. And he feels more like season 1 Rex Splode throughout the compendium to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I can see what you're saying though. He is more interesting, especially with that little backstory with him being basically like trailer trash, like coming from nothing. Like you kind of definitely feel for him a little more, and he definitely has some more vulnerable moments, like later on when basically everyone else is getting with people, and especially I think it's when Duplicate and Immortal get married or whatever.
Yeah.
He has some moments where you can't tell if he's joking or like being serious, but you can tell like, all right, maybe he's being a little bit more serious now. So I could see that, but I just did not see that coming. Like for you to pick Rex Splode, but I love that.
No, it's the character development is immense for him in the show.
Yeah, and I think I'm just seeing because there is a little bit of that that's starting to develop towards the end of the compendium, and so seeing that made me more like, oh, there he is, man.
There he is. He's coming. Because I was waiting for it too. Because it's such a nice addition to the show that I was kind of. It was one of those things that I was kind of waiting to develop in the comic.
Yeah. Do you think he'll still get with Shrinking Ray in the comic?
He could. I would. That was one of the funny enough. That's one of the first thing I noticed that was a gender swap from the TV show to the comic. I was like,
I was about to say Shrinking Ray's a guy, so
she's a girl in the show.
Yeah,
I guess that's another spoiler, but I mean, it's Rex getting with a girl. It's not. I mean,
right? Yeah, I mean,
Come on,
you kind of know what's happening, Andrew. It'll be fine.
dude. So how gross is it that Omni-Man laid with bugs?
It's
He
pretty
had
rough, huh?
relations with bugs.
That's, I mean, Omni-Man did.
Either
And
horrible or
you're gonna have to bleep that, I think, in post. I don't think I can say that. I don't think I can say that on YouTube.
if you think
I
I'm
need to
going
make all the money we're
coming
making off
through
this.
to beep out. Y'all double down. That's
Oh,
not happening.
now we're gonna owe them money. Oh no.
No. Shot twice.
But yeah, I mean that was weird, right?
I mean, just
I
a
hated
little
that.
bit.
You hated that too, right?
Those bugs were not hot at all, man.
Right.
Come on. The fight though that they have on that planet, super dope.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
show and comics.
Yeah.
It felt like a setup the whole time, though. So I was surprised that it ended up being something, which, I mean, I guess we still don't. Well, I guess we kind of know because I guess that's where I forgot talking about Alan. I mean, he purposely gets captured to go to the jail where Omni-Man is. I
Right.
feel like I should have mentioned that earlier when we were talking about that. But
That is
yeah,
a pretty big plot point because first he almost dies, and they
Yeah.
put him back together, and then he's Super Alan after that,
Yeah.
and then purposely gets
that's his
captured.
powers, or did they just soup him up? I think did I miss?
I think
They
they
give him the
souped him
strength
up.
of 1,000 suns, like Sentry.
Or
Dude,
is
I
it
just
something he
realized
said
though.
about every time he gets hurt, he gets stronger? Was that just like him just joking around, or is that
That's
like
the
an actual-
Viltrumite. I think. Well, that the Viltrumites
That's
that
Doomsday.
happens. That is also Doomsday. Yeah.
Tom, did something not happen in the comic that happens in the show having to do with Alan's recovery? Right?
His
I mean, we can talk about it.
His recovery.
Thetis didn't take him, like in the show, he like takes him off life support essentially to let him die and recover naturally so he'll be stronger. But that didn't happen in the comic, right?
He rips through the thing, and that's how he realizes he's super strong.
Yeah, that's not how that goes in the comic.
He like wakes
Yeah.
up, and they're like, he's like, help,
Yeah.
and no one comes, and so he just
Yeah.
accidentally rushes through.
Okay, so yeah, that happens in the show, but not the comic. I just realized. But yeah, trying to
So
think
he
of
has
what else
he has a
happens.
brother, Oliver, who clearly is gonna.
Bug person.
Luckily, he doesn't look bug.
No way the
And he
artist
doesn't
wanted
age
to
bug.
draw that bug over and over again compared
Yeah,
to
that
a
had to be
human
terrible.
person. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it had to be weird to be drawing those bugs and putting like their bug forms on them and then just drawing a little voluptuous ass on a bug. And it's just like, dude,
I knew, dude.
why?
I knew you were going there.
I mean, what are you doing, dog? Who did that? Corey Walker or Ryan Otley? I'm not sure which one of them does the drawings. But you're weird. That's all I'm saying. Enough of that bug talk, guys. Chill out. I mean, what else happened, besides the bugs?
Besides bugs, guys.
Battle Beast. Battle Beast was present. Not
Yeah.
for long though, right?
Once, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we've read Battle Beast to put that out there. I know.
Yeah, we're reading. Yeah,
I want to read it at some point, but I'll probably read the compendiums first, and then hopefully they put together some kind of graphic bind-up for
little TP.
Battle Beast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Twins I feel like are popping in and out all the time. Obviously, they help with the whole Angstrom Levy thing. I feel like they help with something else that maybe is important.
Yeah, they help Robot become Rudy.
Robot.
Yep.
Which he's good.
Dude, well,
in the show, I feel like
keeps
he's more of bad.
Well, in the comic so far, you've realized he keeps just randomly, he'll do something, and then he'll be like, "Now for phase 2," and it's just like he's like whispering to himself about his
I thought
phases.
that was just about getting Monster Girl.
I guess it could be, but
that's what I thought it was. No, I think it's literally he wants to be with Monster Girl, and his plan.
That would be wild.
No, I think he's like super calculated about how he wants to end up with.
So, what do you think has to happen
Girl.
for him to say, "Phase 3 begins now"? Because he's on phase 2.
I have no idea. It's a good question.
No idea.
Scared.
All
right. He's touched phase 2. He's trying to touch phase 3, dude. Come on, man.
All right. Being a Reaniman would be terrible.
Absolutely, dude.
I agree. I agree.
That would not be good. Having a
Okay.
sequid on your face would be terrible.
That
The
would be
second
actually.
thing, we didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah. Before we go to that, I want to talk about Donald because he's so different too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that is such a big psychological difference because he, once again, with Cecil, they are both much more present characters in the TV show than the
Yeah.
comics. They're definitely much more background. There's no of that animosity. And in the TV show, Donald goes through it, man. Like,
Yeah.
like he goes through it and like
Yeah.
that realization. So like in the comic, he like knows and accepts that he's like
Yeah, he already
99%
knows.
machine. Like there's no
Yeah.
and he's helping what's his face kind of like accept that. Like
Yeah.
The guy who gets turned into William.
William 2.0.
No.
Dude,
Peter?
I'm not gonna lie, in the comics, it took me so long to realize who is it that they took. I thought they took William. They look the same. They look exactly the same. They should have made their characteristics a little bit different. Rick.
Yeah, they took Rick but he's helping Rick, and then it's a completely different arc in the show, which was another thing that I like. That's one of the other things that I'm like, I think I maybe like that how that got handled in the show a little bit more, just a little bit more character depth and everything.
So Donald figures that out along the way.
Yes.
Donald is
starts
very traumatized about what has happened to him in the show, and like goes through like full blown PTSD, panic attacks. Like at one point, like hold Cecil at gunpoint, like tell me what's going on, or
yeah. I mean, dude, there's a scene where he's both hands on the desk, looking at a bunch of monitors, showing a bunch of times he's died and been rebuilt, and he's just like, you know, I mean,
he's losing it.
Tough time, for sure, for anybody.
I
mean, dude, what would you do? You know,
be happy.
What would you do if you?
Yeah, that'd be sick. Actually,
I mean,
like, thank
honestly,
you.
Donald's a bitch.
Exactly. He's fine now.
Version. Yeah.
He's yeah. Comic version is exactly. Man, I'm still me.
He's like, Rick, chill out, bro. You're gonna live forever. It's cool.
It's awesome.
Which actually wouldn't be cool, but I'm trying to see. Doc Seismic, not as cool in the comic. They made him a little cooler in the show.
Yep.
Let's see what else happened. Oh no.
So, I mean, his mom is an absolute alcoholic, which is understandable because
I feel like she's getting better though with Oliver.
Yeah, she definitely is. That felt like a pretty big difference too. Like I don't remember. Like
was it that bad?
I don't remember it being that bad in the show. Like she definitely is going through it, but like in the comics, she's like really. Which
I was like, bro, is she gonna get alcohol poisoning? Like, chill out.
Yeah, she's definitely rough, and you're right. The Oliver stuff is definitely like her purpose again. Like that's kind of what pulls her out of her, especially in the comics. Yeah. She's like, I have something.
Just wanted to point this out. I was flipping through everything. Is this your goat, Andrew? That's your goat?
What's
Alan getting destroyed?
It's Alan with his eyeball popped out and a hole through him. His guts are all out. That's your goat.
Before he got big.
Before he got them gains.
Before he got swole, yeah.
G-Ains, dude.
I liked how Alan told him though that Mark would not be able to beat him in a fight. Mark was like,
"That's where I'm like, something. Is he okay?" Like, thankfully, he's on our side right now, or I say Mark's side. But
I have a feeling what's going to happen is at some point there's going to be some kind of mind control, and Mark's going to have to fight Alan, and we're going to see how strong Mark has gotten. He's going to be like a new benchmark or something.
That would be crazy.
I think you talked about it earlier, Tom, but. I mean, what is a Viltrumite? I mean, I know he has those books, Mark does, that his dad wrote, that he's trying to figure out the weaknesses, but where is the threshold of like, okay, now this guy's dead, now he's not, you know what I mean? It's just, it is very subjective, I feel like, when you're reading, to know like, oh, this punch is going to kill someone and this one's not, you know what I mean? Like when they're fighting, when that whole fight goes on with Mark and Nolan fighting the guys who come to Thraxa or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end, you know, Nolan turns up, and I guess he doesn't kill them because they're still alive. But I don't know.
Two of them die.
The
third guy, two of them die. The third guy who he thought he killed was
Lucan.
Was able to, you know, finish the job. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that from the comics so far, I think the idea is supposed to be that a Viltrumite is like, because again, I think them having the Guardians of the Globe was on purpose
Yes.
to say like, this is Wonder Woman. She's as powerful as Wonder Woman. This is Green Lantern. This is Aquaman, and Omni-Man bodied them by himself.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the idea is supposed to be in this world. Now I think power scalers out there, the real nerds, would get crazy about this, but I think what Robert Kirkman is trying to do is say like Viltrumites are stronger than Superman. Like nobody can mess with them in his universe, his version of because I think Immortal is supposed to be like this version of Superman. Obviously, he's much weaker than even Invincible. So I think the idea is supposed to be that they're
the
kind of
Viltrumites
the
are
most
supposed to be
powerful
kind
thing
of
out there.
like S tier, like, and they get stronger as they get older and they age. Like, what is it, like every year they get older, they age half as much. So like they live for like ever, basically. Like
and they get stronger as they age.
Like a 50-year-old Viltrumite is like, say goodbye to everything you've ever known because that's how strong they are.
Yeah. Just for clarification, Superman would body the entire Viltrumite Empire, just to be clear. But that's the idea, is that they're the S tiers of this universe. I do have to say though, guys, I mean, this compendium is great. It's 5 stars all the way through. It's S tier. But just knowing what I know and what I have read and all this stuff, I mean, dude, it gets ridiculous.
This is the worst compendium of the 3.
Oh, for sure. And it's amazing. But it's for sure, like, it's great for what it is, because it's, I mean, dude, this really feels like this whole compendium feels like the origin of the rest of the story. Even though it's 47, 48 issues that we read. And a lot of stuff happened. Oh, dude, that, and then dude, there's so many things that happen that you could not even guess. Like, I'm telling you, man, when I told you that you will see Battle Beast again, and in some moments it will be the craziest thing you've ever looked at, like, I mean it. There are some insane moments throughout this series.
I'm so hyped for it. I can't wait to go to the library and get the second compendium.
Yeah, I'm excited to get started on it.
Sitting there waiting for me.
Yeah.
Unless
so got
there's
any predictions?
someone out there needs to buy Tom the compendiums. We'll dox him live if you can get somebody to agree. So, sorry, what were you thinking?
You got any predictions, Andrew? Tom? I guess Tom, it's not as fair because you've seen more of the show. But do you have any show or?
I think it's too easy for Adam and Eve. I keep saying Adam and Eve. Adam Eve.
I do the whole time. Don't worry. Atom
Eve.
There you go.
It's too easy for them to stay together. I hope they do, but it's too easy. There's gonna be trouble, obviously. Trouble in paradise. I don't see them making it. I don't know. I feel like Oliver hopefully stays on the good side, but I could see where somehow he's on the bad side for whatever reason. Dude, I don't know. The Isotope, is that his name? We haven't really seen a lot of that. That like at the end was starting to kind of cycle up. I feel like there's something big coming with the dude who's like a rock in the Isotope.
Oh yeah,
Titan. They're the ones
Isotope. Yeah,
they're the ones who got Battle Beast, right? Or the previous boss.
Yeah, what's his name? Magnet Head, Mechanic Boy. I can't remember.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he originally hired Battle Beast and those other guys, and now Titan is in charge of that sector of crime. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously Cecil is, not a good guy, so there's going to be some something happening. I could see him like siding with the Viltrumites somehow. I don't even know how you get contacted with them, but what do you think, Tom?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to not spoil stuff because I know what kind of happens going into the second compendium from the show, but man, I would be.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to do it.
Is there something big that happens off the rip, I guess?
Oh my God, dude. You're going to be, you have no idea. Bro. Dude, you have no idea what's about to happen. It's crazy.
Dude, the show's insane, bro. Everything you think was great and insane from season 1, especially in season 3, is amplified like crazy.
Dude, it's crazy.
Is season 1 and 2 in the first compendium, and then season 3 is second compendium?
The very end of season, like parts of season 3 are at the beginning of the second compendium, from what I've been told. I don't actually know because I haven't read it, but I think like just the very beginning, like the first couple of issues cover the last little bit that gets covered in the show.
Okay.
So what was your prediction, Tom?
So I was gonna say I'd be super depressed if Mark and Eve don't stay together, because I think like having a power couple would actually be like a fun thing and it would be cool.
Yeah.
But you're probably right that something bad probably happens and they break up and it's super dramatic and I'm just annoyed for like a week afterwards.
I don't like that.
Obviously, I think there's going to be probably be some big galactic war, because there's no way that the Viltrumites and the coalition of planets are just going to be like, you get the left half of this universe and we get the right half and we'll stay on those lines. Like, I think it's probably building up towards like absolute mayhem between those.
the
So
leader being a
Viltrumite. You're actually not going to see the Viltrumite Empire anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very easy prediction right there. Yeah, well, and I think that's one of the big twists is that, okay, so Nolan abandoned his post. You have what's his name, Thaddeus or whatever, who's in the coalition of planets, and then you have Mark, and then you're going to have hopefully Oliver, because I would like Oliver not to be like corrupted, even though I could totally see him like deciding he wants to be a Viltrumite and then them being like, you're pathetic, you can't be a real Viltrumite, look, you're purple.
You're purple, dude.
You're purple, dude. Get out of here. But like I obviously I think it's gonna like lead to a giant galactic war and death and destruction and all that kind of stuff, which is probably the easy prediction. But
looking forward to that if it occurs. Any negatives? I have one negative to report.
In the Compendium?
The multi-Paul scene is in this, right? In the Compendium? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, there's no way he thought. I mean, it was just silly. You thought he sided with them and killed your sister and then got shot in the head as part of an agreement? I thought that was a little silly. I'll just say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of a way to just get Kate to come back for some reason. Duplicate.
That's fair. That's fair.
Get her back in there. So look, still 5 stars, but that was a little silly.
Any of the negatives I really have come from I just like stuff that got handled in the show better. I'm trying to think of any like real negatives that happen just in the Compendium itself.
They're hard to find, I will say.
They are hard to find, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any.
I assume you have none, Andrew. I mean, that's about as glowing as the review can get. Can't even think of any negatives.
The sequence thing. We didn't even talk about like them going to Mars and the one guy stays and then they have to go do the whole sequence thing, and then you knew that wasn't over. That was such an easy like guess. Singular sequence left, so maybe there'll be a problem. I mean, not maybe, they were a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank God Robot just has the plot device of being able to figure out whatever that was that like EMP'd them.
So before we end, would you rather be a Reaniman or get controlled by a Sequid?
Sequid.
Oh, yeah? It's kind of freaky.
Dude, the Reaniman just looks rough. That looks so much worse. Because the worst part is,
see the secret on my body,
dude. The real problem is like that doctor's like getting off the whole time he's torturing you alive. So like, either way, dude, like it's not good.
Yeah. Either way, somebody's getting off. That's crazy. Well, that's Invincible Compendium 1. Hopefully we'll be back for Compendium 2 soon. It's Lit Comic Reviews out. Tom, thank you again for doing another one with us. If you haven't seen, Tom's been with us through the Wheel of Tom, so check that out if you're into some fantasy books.
Great time as always, boys.
Bye.
See you guys on the next one.